There's a black St. Louis police officer that was on the force for 11 years, and he heard some commotion outside his home, so he got his service weapon and went outside to see the overall commotion. And once he ended up getting into the situation with the other police officers, the black police officer that's been on the force 11 years was shot by a Caucasian police officer.
We have a police officer standing in his own yard who's outside because he hears the commotion, sees the car crash in front of his neighbor's house right in the same block, and he comes out, is in a conversation with some of the officers that are on the scene pursuing the stolen car, and he winds up getting shot.
The attorney for the wounded 38-year-old African-American St. Louis police officer is making strong statements after police investigators say they shot one of their own.
This happens to be the first time in the national discourse that we're aware of a black professional or a law enforcement officer himself being shot or treated as an ordinary black guy on the street. And we can see that this is a real problem.
Detectives say it all unfolded around 10 last night when the license plate recognition system in downtown St. Louis spotted a car stolen from Maryland Heights last week. Officers used spike strips to stop the vehicle in North St. Louis. The three people in the car fired shots at officers. Police pursued the vehicle. The vehicle then stopped near Park and Astra, where more shots were fired.
Why are they chasing a stolen car all over town in these high-speed chases? They're always going to wind up in some kind of crash.
We're told the off-duty officer who lives in the area came outside of his home armed with his department-issued weapon and was ordered to the ground by two officers. The officers recognized the off-duty officer and told him to stand and walk toward them. Meanwhile, a 36-year-old white male officer just arriving on the scene did not recognize the off-duty officer. He told city police investigators he feared for his safety, so he fired a shot hitting the off-duty officer in the arm.
And in the police report that you have so far, there's absolutely no description of any type of threat he perceived. And so we have a real problem with that. But it also presents a bigger problem that's been a course of national discussion for the past 2 years. That is this perception that a black man is automatically to be feared.
Now, did you hear that Caucasian police officer stated that he was afraid? He was afraid because he saw a black man. I am sick and tired of hearing this "I'm afraid for my life" stuff coming out these Caucasian males. If you are afraid of your life, if you so pussified, and yeah, I'm using that word, get off the police force. If you scared of black people, get off of the police force. Go home with your wife and kids and go play with them. Stop walking around with a gun and a badge and talking about you're going to do some police work. Because I would want no coward around me. I'm afraid for my life. You're afraid of black people, and you shouldn't do that job. It's just that simple. And it's always the same MO, a Caucasian male cop. That's why I said that maybe all these Caucasian male cops should just get off the force and let brothers take over in their place and other groups of people. And that way we won't have all these unnecessary shootings and police brutality incidents. Because time after time after time after time after time, we see Caucasian males involved in some sort of excessive force, shooting people, and it's just happening like that. And you can't refute what I'm saying because you know it's true. Other groups of officers of other races aren't doing the things that they're doing. And this society will back them up, this Caucasian society. The thing is that when you are an officer and you are a black man, you're black first, period, in this system. You're officer second. And this is not the only officer that had these issues. I spoke to another officer. We had a long conversation one day, me and this brother. He told me he was dealt with the same thing. He was chasing a suspect. Some other Caucasian cops came up, drawing guns on him, making him get on the ground. When another cop that was their supervisor showed up, said, "Wait a minute, he's a police officer. What are you doing?" And then they had to let him go. When he was said that he had his police vest on and everything, but yet they just gonna draw guns on him because they see a black man. Same brother told me he pulled over a Caucasian and they told him, why are they letting ends be police officers? See, they don't even respect a black police officer. So brothers that's out there and sisters out there as a police officer, you dealing with problems from criminals and you dealing with the general public and also other cops that are Caucasian. You see how screwed up this nation is? It is extremely screwed up. Everything is based on race. Everything. So when you come tell me, why do I discuss race so much? Because you built the system on race. How can I not talk about it? That's like me trying to talk about cars and I don't talk about gasoline. I don't talk about oil. I don't talk about transmission oil and all the things that make that car go. Race makes this whole society go, and you know it. That's why you hold on to race so much. You can get rid of the race problem today, but you don't want to get rid of it because it's part of your heritage not to get rid of it. If you take race away from this society, you won't have an identity. Race identifies you, but all that I'm afraid for my life stuff, that stuff gonna have to stop. Brothers and sisters that's in law enforcement, you better pay attention to this story. It could be you. These Caucasian males, they just see you black and they gonna just draw guns on you. This is extremely sad. No matter what you do, I've said that so many times, you could become the president of the United States, which we have seen that, and have a white mama at the same time. Or you could be a homeless man on the street, anything in between that. To them, you still are in, and they treat you as such. They don't like you. They hate you. They don't want to see nothing good happen to you. And if you're not that way, I'm not talking about you. But this is what they show us in their actions. My thing is, I don't want to hear your words. Don't tell me we not like that or this. Don't tell me crap when I'm looking at the actions. I'm reporting the actions constantly. I'm looking at the actions in history. Your actions say different. And all I care about is your actions. I don't care about your words. You can't utter nothing to me in my ear and make me feel good. No. Show me your actions. Then I'll know how to feel. This is ridiculous. And it's just another episode of Another Day in America. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Share the video, like the commentary, and subscribe to my news stories.